Welcome to my channel. Here we share gripping true tales that sharpen your English and supercharge your motivation. Today's episode is packed with heart-pounding escapes, science-backed insights, and life lessons you can apply before the video even ends. Ready to feel your heartbeat rise and your vocabulary grow? Let's dive in. Imagine dangling by one arm above a 100-foot drop, the rock under your fingers crumbling, and the desert sun melting your last bottle of water. No phone signal. No way out. Only 5 minutes of daylight left. Would you find the courage to survive? Stick with me, because by the end of this video you'll know how for ordinary people turned impossible odds into stories that electrify the world and teach us vocabulary like resilience, ingenuity, and a tenacity without a single classroom. Aron Ralston set out for a casual weekend climb in Canyon, Utah. He carried 2 burritos, a cheap multi-tool, and one dream: reach the summit by sunset and brag about it on Monday. Then a rock the size of a refrigerator slipped. It pinned his right hand against the canyon wall like a vice. Hours turned into days. His water ran dry. He rationed sips of his own urine, a yellow reminder that time was leaking away. Desert nights froze him, midday heat baked him. The human body can survive about 3 days without water, but clear thinking starts dropping after just 12 hours. Aron felt his thoughts blur. He filmed goodbye messages to his parents on a small video camera, tears flashing like diamonds on dust-coated cheeks. Picture yourself there. No rescue. No cell tower bars. Could you outthink dehydration? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments. Could you keep calm in that trap? On day 5, as ravens circled overhead, Aron carved a final message into stone: his name, birthday, possible date of death. Then oxygen-starved clarity hit him. Muscles don't feel pain when nerves lack blood. He used that dull 3-inch blade to amputate his own arm, snapped the bones against a chalk stone, and walked 6 miles out. Paramedics called it a 1 in a million comeback. Under extreme stress, the brain floods with noradrenaline and beta endorphins. They dull pain, sharpen focus, and limit blood loss by constricting vessels. Aron proved the biology in real time. Adversity means a difficult or unpleasant situation. Pain can be negotiable when purpose shouts louder. Take a deep breath. That was only the warm-up. Ready for altitude, ice, and a miracle so wild that Hollywood toned it down. Lean in. In October 1972, Flight 571 carrying a Uruguayan rugby team and their families crashed in the Andes. The impact sheared the wings like paper, and the radio died on contact. Search crews gave up after 10 days, convinced nobody could last that long. Yet for 72 days, the survivors battled hypothermia, avalanches, and starvation. They had no food left. The air temperature fell to minus 30 degrees Celsius. What was their final option? Keep watching. When the last chocolate square disappeared, the group made a decision nobody ever wants to face. They sliced thin strips of frozen flesh from the deceased, honoring them as the only possible gift. If society vanished tomorrow, what moral line would you cross to keep living? Think about it, and share the line you refuse to cross. Surprising fact, they melted snow in metal panels warmed by the sun, creating 5 mouthfuls of water per hour, barely enough to wet their lips. They used broken seat backs as snowshoes. Each hack demanded new words: improvisation, resourcefulness, solidarity. The body at high altitude burns calories 50% faster. Without protein, muscles cannibalize themselves first. By eating small measured portions, the survivors slowed muscle loss and preserved brain function. It was grim biology, not madness. Nando Pardo and Roberto Canessa then hiked 10 days over knife-edge peaks with no climbing gear. Pardo's feet bled through 3 layers of socks. Canessa battled altitude hallucinations. On day 10 they met a shepherd. Helicopters followed. 16 men returned home. As Pardo stepped onto Uruguayan soil he whispered, "I searched for God at the high passes and found him inside me." Perseverance is steady persistence despite hardship. Whisper perseverance to yourself now, your brain loves to hear new words aloud. Your pulse is racing, right? Hold on, because our next hero was born without arms yet decided to rule the skies. Jessica Cox entered the world with a rare birth defect, no arms. Doctors predicted a life dependent on helpers. Jessica's parents predicted something else, possibility. At 3 she learned to feed herself with her feet. By 8 she could write her name in neat, looping letters. At 14 she earned a black belt in Taekwondo, breaking wooden boards with a spinning heel kick. Quick quiz, what's harder, kicking through pine wood or typing an essay with toes? Let me know. The biggest leap came when she sat in a 1946 coupe, an aircraft designed without rudder pedals. She could fly it using only her legs. Imagine steering a plane through turbulence using toes instead of fingers. Terrifying or thrilling? Jessica trained 80 hours, memorized every checklist, and passed the FAA exam on the first try. She became the first armless licensed pilot. She later drove a car, pumped gas, and typed 25 words per minute, all with feet. Guinness World Records etched her name in gold. The brain's motor cortex can remap itself. When one limb is missing, neurons allocate space to remaining limbs. Jessica's toes gained almost finger-level dexterity, proving neural plasticity isn't just a theory, it's a ticket to the clouds. Our limits are often policies written by others. Tear them up. Adaptability means the ability to adjust to new conditions. Feeling charged? Great, because our final saga involves a captain, crushed ice, and a rescue that taught the world how to lead in chaos. In 1914, Sir Ernest Shackleton set sail to cross Antarctica on foot. The ship Endurance was a fortress of oak and iron, yet the Weddell Sea swallowed it whole. Crew members camped on drifting ice for months. Food vanished. Morale cracked. Ever tried to start a fire on ice? Exactly. Shackleton promised every man he would get them home. He held nightly optimism meetings, telling jokes over seal fat lamps to keep fear from freezing hearts. When the ice floe melted, he ordered lifeboats launched toward Elephant Island. Then he hand-picked 5 sailors and rowed 1,300 kilometers across the most violent ocean on Earth to seek help. Would you board a 22-foot lifeboat knowing a single wave could flip you into a frozen grave? Write all in if you would, not me if you wouldn't. Salt water soaked their clothes, turning them into icy armor. They took 30-second micro-naps, then rowed again. At South Georgia Island they crawled over a mountain range never before climbed, guided only by a carpenter's compass and a prayer. Prolonged cold exposure lowers core temperature under 35 degrees Celsius, risking arrhythmia. Shackleton's men staved off hypothermia by constant rowing, generating muscle heat, about 400 watts per person. They also ate penguin blubber, a fat-rich fuel that burns slowly. Weeks later, Shackleton staggered into a whaling station in South Georgia, beard ice solid. For rescue attempts failed due to sea ice. On the 5th, a small Chilean tug slipped through. All 27 crew members survived. Historians call it the greatest leadership story ever told. True leaders burn brighter when the world freezes over. Inevitable means certain to happen. Shackleton treated rescue as inevitable, not optional. That mindset melted defeat. So, what threads stitch these tales together? First, resilience isn't one grand decision, it's thousands of tiny choices to keep moving. Second, the body and brain hide backup systems that wake up only when stress pounds the door. Third, purpose turns panic into a plan. Quick reflection, which of these stories hit you hardest? Think for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. What goal today feels like a canyon wall, an unending glacier, or a cockpit with pedals you've never used? Picture it, name it, and watch it shrink. Because if Aron can hike minus an arm, you can draft that CV. If Nando can climb a mountain on frostbitten feet, you can climb out of procrastination. If Jessica can flip gravity with her soles, you can flip doubt on its head. If Shackleton can row through the Scotia Sea, you can row through your final exams or job shift. If these stories struck a spark, smash the like button so the algorithm shares this spark with more learners. Share this video with a friend who needs a boost. And if you crave more thrilling stories that level up your English and your mindset every single week, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep your spirit wild, your words clear, and your dreams stubborn. I'll see you in the next story. Before we wrap up, let's lock in 5 power words you met today. Resilience, the ability to spring back after hardship. Ingenuity, clever, original ideas. Use it in a sentence, her ingenuity solved the puzzle. Tenacity, persistent determination. Remember Aron's grip? That's tenacity. Improvisation, creating or performing without preparation. Think of the Andes snowmelt contraption. Leadership, guiding others toward a goal. Shackleton turned icy chaos into unity. Pick one word and write a short comment using it. Your brain remembers 70% more when you use a new word within 5 minutes. Let's polish your speaking muscle. Repeat after me, slowly, then faster. Perseverance powers progress. Inevitable victory invites bold action. Feel how your mouth moves. The more you say these sentences, the clearer your diction becomes. Record yourself later and compare, it's free feedback, no tutor required. Scientists at the University of Pennsylvania found that listening to emotionally charged stories increases retention of new vocabulary by up to 52%. That means the goosebumps you feel right now are literally helping you remember today's English. Cool, right? So share the goosebumps, send this video to one friend who's learning too. Thank you.